sharing that. That makes a lot of sense. Let me go back a little bit and try to break this down for the audience in a more fundamental way. Like you said, there are different types of breath work techniques.
Yeah.
I That was for me that with Lisa de Narvaez was my first experience being led uh, in a breath work um, setting. I had tried a number of different techniques on my own, but that was the very first time, and actually the only time that I've done like a group type of setting.
Hmm.
But it sparked my interest into learning more about breathing. So I started reading books. When I got back from Portugal, I started buying books and reading books. And one of the books that I read was Breathe by James Nestor. And wanted to kind of unpack that and kind of go back to the basics. It seems, at least according to him, and and a handful of others, I think Nestor and Wim Hof and there's a few others that, although they have different views, they tend to agree on one basic thing, which is we are all born knowing how to properly breathe,
Hmm.
and then we forget as a result of society, as a result of sitting, as a result of the clothes we wear, as a result of not looking sexy. Because proper breathing is through the belly, not through the
Hmm.
chest. But pulling your belly out like a cat, a dog, or a baby, it's not necessarily um,
Attractive
sexy,
in the,
attractive,
yeah.
right? So we go through this process of changing the way we breathe, and we end up in a situation as we get older where we breathe very inefficiently, and that leads to a whole variety of different problems. In fact, for
Yeah.
me, I actually found about this in a completely different setting. I found about this, and it was interesting because I never really, I should have questioned it a little bit more at the time, but I didn't because my mind was somewhere else. But that is the same basis of singing. We're all
Hmm.
born knowing how to sing because we're all born knowing how to breathe. And if you breathe properly, your voice comes out properly, right? If you forget how to breathe, then you start having issues with vocalizing, and your vocal cords may get stressed and you get hoarse. But really, if you breathe properly, you're designed to be able to follow a particular breath pattern and then be able to speak for hours without really stressing out your vocal cords. And whether
Hmm.
that's speaking in public or singing, those who know how to really sing, they know how to breathe, right?
Hmm.
So I want to kind of get your feedback on that, on the basics of breath work, right?
Hmm.
Outside of the different disciplines, and then kind of walk the path of from that basic point into the particular one that you teach, which is theta breath.
Hmm. Yeah, that's a great question and great reflection. So we we know how to breathe. All of us know how to breathe automatically, right? So if you are alive, you're breathing, right? So we are all breathing. The problem is a lot of us, because all the things that you said, we start to change how we breathe. And then changing the way that we breathe means that we are changing the way that our body is working. So, the same way that we breathe automatically, unconsciously, we can also be conscious of and control the breath. What happens to us is that we are breathing unconsciously. We are not really paying attention in the breath. We are breathing automatically. And that's when we start to shift and we start to breathe, especially when you're sleeping. A lot of us, most of us, we are mouth breather when we are sleeping. We breathe through the mouth, which means in the body that you are giving a signal to your body that you need to be attentive. So, a lot of people that have problems with sleep, that have problems with not being able to go in deep sleep or not feeling rest when they wake up, It's because of the mouth breathing, because you are keeping yourself in that state, the sympathetic state, the alert state, for you to know in the past, right in the past, in our ancients, and they used to um, breathe through the mouth while they were sleeping, so they could be alert if there is an animal coming or if something is a movement, so they can react very fast and move very fast. But now we don't need that. We need deep sleep. We need to breathe through the nose while we are sleeping. So there are a lot of people that now, I don't know if you have seen, but they use mouth tape to sleep. For example, I use mouth tape, and it's the best thing. Yeah, it's the best thing. I sleep so much better, have so much more energy throughout the day, um, because I'm breathing the whole night through my nose, and I'm giving the signal to my body that I can rest, that I can relax. So why is that? So in the body, there is the parasympathetic and the sympathetic nervous system, right? So the sympathetic is the fight or flight, and the parasympathetic is the rest and digest. The breath has the power to control a lot of things in the body. It controls our nervous system, it controls our heart rate, it controls a lot of things in our gut, in our brain. So when we want to shift from a sympathetic to a parasympathetic, which means the alert, the fight or flight, to a more calm, to a more rest, digest, safe, we need to shift the way that we are breathing, which means I'm going to breathe through my nose and through the belly. So I'm always expanding my belly and breathing through the nose. Or and exhale through the mouth. So this is giving the signal to my body that I can rest, that I can relax, that I'm safe. And that's a type of breathing that it's simple, and we can just simply integrate this throughout our day. So you can set an alarm, 1 minute, 2 minutes, where you're just paying attention to your breath and you're breathing through the nose, expanding your belly and contracting. And that's a very simple way that you can start to shift and tell your body that you are safe, that you can rest, and that you can digest. So this is one example. The other example is there are people that they use the breath to access different states, as I said in the beginning. So Wim Hof is actually one of the pioneers in bringing a lot of science to breath work. So he was able to prove that through this breath, different type of breathing, we can change how our body react. So he showed how the production of good bacteria in our gut, he proved a lot of the things that we can do in our body to create a better health for ourselves. So there are people that they go into this route. Then there are other type of breathings that they are more focused in releasing trauma. So there is a specific type of breathing that we will activate your parasympathetic and sympathetic to show you and to connect with parts of the brain that you usually are not connect, and change the whole chemistry in your body to show and present with different things that you are holding to your body. So this depends. So you can breathe through the mouth, you can breathe through the nose. There are many type of techniques out there that you can use. One of these techniques, and what we use with theta breathwork, is the circular conscious breathing. Why we use this breath, which is 2 parts inhale and 1 part exhale, which means I'm bringing more oxygen and I'm decreasing the carbon dioxide in my body. So I'm in inhale, exhale. I inhale through the belly, I inhale through the chest, and exhale out through the mouth. This type of breathing, circular, connected, conscious breathing, helps us to shift how our brain is operating. So usually, all of us here, everybody who's listening, you are operating through your prefrontal cortex, which is the part of the brain that it's that part that it's saying, yeah, I agree with what she's saying right now. I don't agree with what she's saying. Yeah, this is right. This is wrong. Oh, this is good. This is bad. Like we are humans. We operate in this way. This is our prefrontal cortex. And there are other parts of the brain that are operating with that in unconscious. It's just happening automatically. When we do this type of breathing and I bring more oxygen and I decrease the carbon dioxide, I shift the way that my brain is operating, and I quiet down a little bit of my prefrontal cortex, and I start to activate deeper parts of my subconscious mind, and I start to connect with like these visions or these feelings or the sensations. I release a little bit of the need and the analytical mind to be thinking all the time, and I start to connect more with the feelings. I start to connect more with my body, with the sensations that I'm experiencing. And that's what the type of breathing, for example, that Lisa used, which helps us to quiet down this analytical mind that it's thinking, and analyzing and doing this and connecting deeper with our body, which is the same type of breathing that I use in Theta Breathwork. But in Theta Breathwork, I don't use only the breath. So I can come and guide you through the breath, and you're going to have a very powerful experience, and you're going to release, and you're going to feel a lot of things. But for me, what I found most powerful in this experience is to bring other things and guide you through different things. So what I mean by that is, so I was saying you have your unique journey, right? But sometimes someone comes to me and they were like, "Yeah, I've been feeling in this way and I want to feel more energized. I'm noticing that I'm losing my focus a lot throughout my day. I'm noticing that whatever is the thing that you experience." So there is a guidance and there is a goal in that thing. So I can use only your breath and you can set your intention. But there is a very powerful thing, which is mindset coaching, that helped me so much to ask myself questions. So with the breathing, I also use mindset coach. I also use some hypnotic suggestions that change how your neural pathways are clicking, the synapses that it's happening in your brain. So there are a lot of techniques that I bring together with the breathing. So while you're breathing, I'm using music, I'm using questioning, I'm using hypnotic suggestions, I'm using visualizations to allow yourself to see different things and to connect deeper with your own source and highest power, or whatever you want to call. So yes, there are many different type of breathing, and they can access different things. And just being conscious of your breath, we are already like set a completely different state for you. Just being conscious of your breath and breathing through the nose, expand your belly, giving like deeper inhale and longer exhale will help you to really shift the state and feel more calm, more present, more aware of your thoughts, your body. But there are other ways that we can access and target it, something that you desire.
Very interesting. Let me throw something at you and see if how you resonate or what your thoughts are. We
Yep.
live at very interesting times. We live in a time where we have more access to more information than ever before.
Hmm.
Yet we are more incredulous than we've ever been. And I'm talking, in generic terms, so, as a species, if you will.
Hmm.
And let me give you an example. I'm pretty fairly familiar with light therapy, low level light therapy. I've been using it and working with it for probably 6, 7, 8 years.
Cool.
And when you talk to people about light therapy, the vast majority of humans will look at you like you have two heads. What do you mean? What do you mean? Photons, like light, actually impacts me? It's almost like they skipped the whole photosynthesis part of elementary school. The
Hmm.
idea that light can affect my mood, can affect my well-being, that infrared light penetrates the skin, and it can actually get, you know, uh, biochemical processes in motion seems like dark black magic. So there's a
Hmm.
portion of the population that immediately dismisses that without any effort. And there is an analogy with breath. It's like, what do you mean breathing? I mean, how can breathing really help me deal with A, B, C, D? Or how can poor breathing be the cause of all
Hmm.
these things, right? How do you address that? How do you go about talking to people. I mean, I'm assuming that you have these conversations, and I'm assuming that those who take the leap of faith and go into your program, they come out with the experience they believe now because they've been through the experience. But those who
Yeah.
haven't been through the experience, who are still in a way part of the machine of not necessarily believing, but also not questioning for knowledge, but just dismissing because it's
Mm-hmm.
different, because I don't understand it, I'm afraid, get it away from me type thing.
Mm-hmm.
How do you address that with breath work? And if you can share some examples on that, that would be great.
Yeah, that's an amazing question. So first thing I would say, come to Data Thursday and experience. That's why we do community sessions every week for free, so you can come and try it out and experience yourself. Because I can come here and I can say all of these things and I can give you examples and I can explain blah 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 blah. But the only way for you to really understand is experiencing it. So that's the first thing. I can send you the link. Everybody who is listening, come to Theta Thursday. The second thing is to start to give examples to show how the breath is impacting without them even noticing it. So, for example, I'm going to give my own example. When I was, I don't know, 15 years old, but this happened many times. I was I was playing in this playground and I saw this dogs that were there. And it was like the dog mom with like the little puppies. And it was like just a dog that I was on the street. And I wanted to go closer and see them. So I started to go closer to them. And I was like trying to see them through a little like painting in the wall. Like I was just like trying to see a little bit far, but she saw me. And I remember I was like going there and I was like, as I was going, I was like trying to feel like the suspense of it, like is she's gonna see me? And I was like going there and like my breath was starting to like change and I start to feel like a little bit nervous and I was like holding my breath because I didn't want her to hear me and my body was like in this oh my god, is she gonna see me? She's gonna like start barking on me and come around against or like whatever. So I saw her and she saw me. The moment that she saw me, she sprint. She started to bark and I start to like run away and like trying to jump through the wall and like and when I sit down, I was like, my breath was like, I was breathing through my mouth. My chest was like pumping. I was so nervous and my face was red just like thinking about that. I was already like I'm thinking like feeling out my body like nervous and I'm like I'm feeling out the emotions. And if you're putting yourself in the same thing that I'm telling you, this story, and you can think about another story that happened to you, and I want you to pay attention, just put yourself there and feel that thing. How is your breath? It's probably shallow, it's probably like creating sensations in your body. This happens to us all the time. When someone sent you an email that you didn't like it, how do you feel? You start to feel nervous and you're angry, or you had an argument with someone. I want you to notice how is your breath? That's a perfect example. This is shifting how you're feeling. So, the same way that you were feeling angry and you change your breath, you can do the way around. If you change your breath, you change how you feel. So, what happened to most of us is all the situations, the email, the notification, the scrolling, all the information that you are receiving, the conversation, the job promotion, or the whatever it is, this is creating a state on you, right? So you're feeling angry, you're feeling upset, you're feeling frustrated, you're feeling stuck, whatever it is that you're feeling. This is changing how you're breathing. So you can notice that in situations you change how your breath was operating that moment. The same way around, you can do that. You can change the breath so you can change your state. So a simple exercise that you can do right now. I'm still feeling like the sensation. I'm still feel like my breath is that way. I know that if I stop for 30 seconds and I give a deep inhale through my nose and I exhale long and out through my mouth a few times, I'm already feeling it. I'm much more calmer right now. I'm more grounded. I'm more present. So you can change your breath and you can access whatever state you want in your body, learning how to use your breath.
And that was very powerful for me when I learned that, and especially breathing through my belly slowly like that, or that box breathing, which I
Box
think
breathing is a
is
great one.
yeah,
It's
it's
the most simple one. A lot of people, and I say this in our, we have a certification program where we teach people theta breathwork. And a lot of people, they come and they're like, oh, like box breathing is such a simple one. Like I'm not going to even use because everybody knows it's the simplest one. It's the most simple one, but it's truly one of the most powerful one that you can use at any time of the day. Use before a meal, use before a conversation. It's like 2 minutes. Inhale through the nose for 5 seconds, hold for 5 seconds, exhale out through the mouth for 5 seconds, and hold for five. Repeat this box 5 times. You're going to notice how your body starts to be more open. You receive more, you digest better the food, you are more open to conversations. It's so simple and it's so effective.
yeah, and the benefits are countless, right? Like for me, I am very conscious about doing it. I do it n number of times a day, and
Right.
I notice the difference if I do it through my chest versus my belly, because I need to engage that vagus nerve. I need to engage that that system that is going to get me into a more parasympathetic, into a better state of interoception, where I become a bit more aware
Hmm.
of what's happening around me, so that I can be a proper observer of what's happening around me and what's happening inside me, and not just be an entity that just walks around life reacting to everything that's happening around me, right? Because
Yeah.
that's in breath work, like you said, that box breathing is so simple, is so useful, is so accessible,
Yeah.
and so powerful to get you in that place of just being an observer and not a reactor to the world.
Hmm.
So Beatriz, I could keep talking for hours, but
I know, same. I
we are
have
out of
so many
time.
other stories that I have to
I
share.
know we're gonna have to do this again, because I wrote 4 pages of stuff here that I want to touch on. So maybe we can you can come back someday and we can continue the
Absolutely.
conversation. But I want you um, to leave the audience with a couple of things. Number one, some action on, and some of those we've already touched, but if you can reiterate them, that would be great. Why is this important? What could we do right now that could have impact in our lives and or the lives of the audience, and where can people find you?
Mm, thank you for that. Yeah, so some simple type of breathing that you can do in your day to day that it will help you a lot. The box breathing is one of them. Use especially before a meal. You're gonna notice how much more open you are, how much more open to receive the food and adjust the food, but also to conversation, to what you are eating, more aware of what you are eating, more conscious and connected to the food. And I think food is so important because I am 100% sure in what I'm saying. Our gut is our second brain. Everything, if your gut is messed up and you're like not taking care and you're not eating good food and you're not having water enough and all of that, you will notice that you're going to lose your focus. You're going to notice that your life is not feeling good. And there are so many impacts. Your mental health, all of that is impacted by your gut. So, doing a box breathing before you eat your meals, it's going to help you so much. The second thing is using your conscious breath at least 2 times a day. You don't need to do like a guided session. You don't need to do all these things and find this app and find. I would love to have you for Theta Breathwork and join us, but literally you can just leave this call with this two type of breathings that you can do in your day. One, box breathing. Two, inhale through the nose, exhale out through the mouth. Simply like that, just paying attention in the breath. Inhale through the nose, noticing the air going through your nostrils. Exhale out through the mouth. Just notice making this exhale longer. It's going to help you. Your nervous system is going to calm down. And then you start to notice, where is the breath? Is it through your belly? Is it through your chest? And trying to stimulate this breath through the belly. Expand your diaphragm, feeling the lungs expanding. Just like conscious breath, simply conscious breath. Set an alarm on your phone, 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, whatever you have, 2 times a day, and pay attention to that. Now, if you're having problems to sleep, which I always recommend this, my sister-in-law, for example, she's pregnant, and she always used CBD to sleep. And she messaged me. She goes, "Bia, help me. I'm pregnant. I can't use the CBD. I don't know. I'm like, I can't sleep." This is a great one for you to sleep, which is the 4-7-8. Inhale through the nose in 4 seconds, hold for 7, exhale in 8 seconds through your nose. Everything through your nose. Inhale for 4, hold for 7, exhale in 8. This is a simple breathing that you can do laying down, just paying attention. In through the nose in 4 seconds, hold for 7 seconds, exhale in 8 seconds. So this is a very good breathing that helps people to sleep and calm down. It's a type of breathing because the exhale is longer, because it's in through your nose. It helps your body to understand that it's time for you to rest and you can go to sleep. If you're someone that needs a little bit of more energy, that's a very good breathing, and I call this the green tea breath. I don't like to call the coffee breath because I don't drink coffee, and I'm not a big fan of big caffeine. So this is a very simple breathing. You can put your hands in your belly, and you're gonna only exhale through the nose. So you're not gonna inhale. You're gonna just exhale through the nose. So it's gonna sound like this. As I'm breathing out in 1 second, I'm pumping my belly. So my belly is like making the movement, and it's my belly that it's giving me the strength to breathe out. So it's simply like that. Couple of rounds of that, doing through your nose, out 1 second, hold your belly so you can help to feel the pump. It's going to help you to energize your body a little bit. So if you're little needing a little bit of like this energy throughout your day, just stop yourself 1 to 3 minutes and do this breath. It's going to help you to be more focused, feel more energized, wake up your body. So these are very like simple techniques, very very like simple. You don't need any guidance, you don't need any video to follow, you don't need anything. Just from now on, use this, write in your notes, in your post-it, put close to your computer, and give yourself this note. So that's some simple ones that you can use. And if you want to do and come and join us for Theta Thursday, I can give you the link. I don't know if you have like a place where people can have the link, but it's just theta-breathwork.com/Theta Thursdays. So you can find us there, sign up for free. Just come join the community. I'm happy to see all of you there. And we always explain the breath, we always explain the experience, and you can join us.
Well, thank you very much. Yes, I do include the link on the published version of the podcast. Beatriz, this has been wonderful. The time just flew by. Thank you so much for making the
Yeah,
time. It's good to see you virtually. We're gonna have to figure out a
I
way to meet
know.
at some point. Uh, Thank you for making the time. Thank you for the work that you're doing. I find it extremely important, especially in this day and age. So thank you for that, and I wish you nothing but the best.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I'm so happy we made time for that.